stand in support of the bill, the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill 2025. Mr. Speaker, as I move to support the bill, allow me, Mr. Speaker, to do two things. One, to wish you quick recovery, Mr. Speaker. I see you are battling flu, but it shall be well. Mr. Speaker, I also want to take this opportunity to wish our Muslim brothers and sisters Eid Mubarak as they continue to observe this holy month of Ramadan. I know I have a deal with the Muslim fraternity in Kitui, especially in Mwingi town, and this shall be done. Mr. Speaker, going to the bill, I want to thank the Committee on Finance and Budget, ably led by the Senator for Mandera, Senator Roba, for coming up with this bill at such a time as this. Mr. Speaker, while seconding the bill, Senator Alwale may be carried by emotions and listed himself and all of us as enemies of devolution. Mr. Speaker, I hope, because these are also of record, when Senator Alwale next gets a chance to speak on any matter, he shall retract that record from the answered. Because, Mr. Speaker, what Senator for Kakamega has just done is that he has spoken contrary to the provisions of Article 96 of the Constitution. He has gone on record to say that the House that is charged with the responsibility of protecting devolution is actually the House against whom devolution should be protected. The Speaker, when he gets a chance, let him remove that record from the answered. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, I want to go to the first schedule of the bill. And it is common knowledge, Mr. Speaker, that column B of the first schedule, which lists the allocations to the construction of county headquarters, that column, Mr. Speaker, should contain 5 counties. Nyandarua is one of those counties that should benefit from that special allocation for the construction of county headquarters. But I see the figures for Nyandarua have dropped from the column. So, Mr. Speaker, because I believe that senators will pass this bill, and that should be the first amendment to the bill, to include the figures for Nyandarua. Because what is captured here is for the other 4 counties, Lamu, Isiolo, and the other 2 is Tana River and Tharaka Nithi. So, Speaker, when you go to column C, and that's where I want to spend a bit of time, on the CAPE program. Mr. Speaker, I am the least qualified to speak about the government agenda on development and especially on manufacturing, the bottom-up transformative agenda. But I believe that these CAPEs speak to that policy. The realization that industrial development is a cornerstone to development in every country, for developing countries, for newly industrialized countries, for countries with economies under transition, even for the developed world, Mr. Speaker. Industrialization is a cornerstone to development. And so, Mr. Speaker, in the wisdom of this administration or the Treasury, 19 counties were identified to be beneficiaries of the initial allocation of 250 million Kenya shillings from the national government. And then the 19 county assemblies are supposed to pass budgets to match that allocation to bring it to a total of 500 million Kenya shillings. Mr. Speaker, the criteria for choosing the 19 counties, I think, is a discretion that none of us would put a finger to. But that be as it may, Mr. Speaker, there are a number of those counties in phase 1 that have received allocations from the national government to construct the industrial parks. Yes, they have identified the land and started construction, but that is as far as the story goes. Things are stalled. There is no conversation around the issue anymore. And so the auditors, and it's a right to do what they're doing, are capturing that as part of stalled projects. And they form part of the many, many white elephants that we have all over the country, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, today the Senator of Kitui will be making announcements or pronouncements that will shock the governor of Kitui County. Because, Mr. Speaker, I stand here to congratulate the governor of Kitui County, Governor Dr. Julius Malombe. Kitui County is not part of the counties in the phase 1 to receive the 250 million Kenya shillings from the national government. But the County Assembly of Kitui, and I want to congratulate the Speaker of the County Assembly of Kitui, Kevin Kinengo, and his team of MCRs, they passed the county portion of this allocation. And the county government, both the executive and the assembly, have gone ahead to identify the land on which the CAIB for Kitui will be established. And in fact, gone a step forward and decided that that area now will be the Kitui industrial area. So they are allocated more land for purposes of future investments. The Speaker, as we speak today, that project in Kanyonyo of Kitui Rural Constituency is almost now 50% done using county funds. And yet there are county governments, the Speaker, and I see there are senators here, I will not mention them, that have been allocated the money under phase 1. And they have not used up that money. The Speaker, the question that we should be asking ourselves is, if there are counties that seem to appreciate the importance of these industrial parks and their impact on the county economies and the recruitment and employment of our youths, and they have not been included in the phase 1 of the counties benefiting from this allocation, why can those counties be fast-tracked to get the allocations, complete these projects, and within the time of this administration, before the elections, because only God knows what will happen after the elections, so that the administration that has started these parks within their first term can at least see the fruits and the benefits of the parks in counties where work seems to be happening? Why continue allocating monies to counties in phase 1 that are not moving an inch, and yet there are counties categorized under phase 2 who have done so much, and they just need the final push to complete the parks and make them operational? The Speaker, those senators, as I said, are here and are looking at me, and I'm not mentioning their names, the Speaker. I want to invite them and their governors to come to Kanyonyo in Kitui rural constituency of Kitui County to just maybe benchmark and see what needs to be done for these parks. Because, Mr. Speaker, truth be told, these industrial parks, if they are properly rolled out, they will change the economies of our counties. They will even be sources of county-owned revenues because of the levies and taxes that will be gotten from there. Mr. Speaker, that's what I wanted to say about the KIPES. But having said that, because we are not allocated any money there, the county of Kitui is not allocated any money, because the counties allocated here are those counties that are categorized in phase 1. Mr. Speaker, I want to urge the decision makers on this allocation to see to it that they fast track those counties that are already doing things on the ground using their own portion of the money so that they can get the balance from government and complete these projects. And Kitui County, Mr. Speaker, should be the first under that consideration. Mr. Speaker, having said so many good things about the county government of Kitui and the governor, I must also remind him, because it's important that I do this, that this information that I have, that I'm communicating to the Senate and the country today, in defense of my county, Mr. Speaker, is information that I am struggling to get from officers in the county government. And yet, it is very good information that we can use to showcase our county and put it on the national map for good reasons. The Speaker, I would ask my governor, Governor Malombe, to communicate better, to be more accessible, especially to the senator. When I seek to speak to the governor, I don't want anything personal. It's just about us working and making sure that things move in the right direction for the benefit of the people that we represent. The Speaker, I know I am as passionate about Kitui County as you are about Meru County. And you say that when you begin doing these things, you make sure that things happen. And I know what you mean, Mr. Speaker. The Speaker, on the next column, very, very important, column D on CHPs. The allocations to CHPs. You know, Mr. Speaker, and I don't want to speak for the other senators because they will have an opportunity to speak for themselves and for their counties. Let me speak about CHP's allocations in respect of Kitui County. Mr. Speaker, if there is a cadre of staff that needs serious attention and serious facilitation, it is the health promoters. The Speaker, these are our first line of defense in terms of health. These people, Mr. Speaker, are the people that when there are issues in the middle of the night in remote villages, these are the people that patients and families run to for assistance, for first aid, Mr. Speaker. And yet, Mr. Speaker, important as they are the most neglected lot in the health sector. Mr. Speaker, I speak with pain about CHPs because last Friday, Mr. Speaker, I was with a section of them from Kitui County. The Speaker, by God's grace, I run a foundation called Kiyowambua Foundation that carries out medical camps across the county. And on Friday, we were at Kawi Ward in Kitui West constituency, where we attended to over 1,300 patients being assisted by CHPs, around 50 of them. As a speaker, these people are suffering. These people have not been paid their monies. And it's not even pay, because how do you call 2,500 shillings pay? It's not even pay. They have not earned their stipends, Mr. Speaker. And the stipends come, there's so little. The Speaker, can I appeal to the wisdom of this House, the wisdom of the committee, led by very able Senator from Mandera, to engage with their counterparts in the National Assembly and the Treasury and see, Mr. Speaker, what we can do to compensate and facilitate CHPs better. The Speaker, if we are able to facilitate CHPs better and in good time, then a lot of the common ailments that we struggle with, the Speaker, will be a thing of the past. Basic, hygiene, even helping the elderly to access medication for pressure and diabetes, and even nutrition, Mr. Speaker. If we just facilitate these CHPs better, then perhaps we will lessen. Actually, perhaps it is evident, it is true, that if we do this, we shall lessen the workload of our doctors and nurses and clinicians. So, Mr. Speaker, I see Kitui County, we have been allocated 74 million Kenya shillings for CHPs. We could do much better. For now, we'll take it, and we'll thank the committee for that. Mr. Speaker, lastly, and I wish I could know how much time I have. 2 minutes. Let me try. Mr. Speaker, let me speak briefly within the time that I have left. And if I'm not able, I'll request that you give me 1 minute, but I should be able to complete. Mr. Speaker, allow me to mention this thing about the RMLF. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to go on record. And after Senator Alwale comes and cleans up the answered, then let it go on record that the greatest enemies of devolution in this country are members of the National Assembly. That, Mr. Speaker, should remain unanswered for the rest of our lives. For now, as we speak, the greatest enemy of devolution in this country is the National Assembly. The Speaker, when you want to stop allocations of monies going to county roads, monies that are deducted, that are accrued from the fund that is established by an act of parliament, Mr. Speaker, simply because you want all the money to come to you so that you are the alpha and the omega in making decisions on which roads will be made and which roads will not be made. So that, Mr. Speaker, and let's call it as it is. It is not that the members of the National Assembly want to repair and maintain roads. It is that they want to control the funds so that they issue the contracts and tenders to their friends and to their wives and their girlfriends and their boyfriends, Mr. Speaker. That's exactly what they want to do. Mr. Speaker, I have looked at this schedule. For the county of Kitui, we are supposed to give the governor 445 million Kenya shillings to maintain county roads. But the members of the National Assembly want all that money to be given to themselves. Mr. Speaker, for as long as I remain the senator of Kitui County,
my foot will remain on the ground for 445 million going to the county government of Kitui for maintenance of county roads. And there's this argument that when the money goes to the counties, oh, it is stolen, I don't know what happens. If a governor misappropriates funds, take the governors to court, charge them in a...
Just 30 seconds, just to conclude.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm saying that, and we will not stop there, Mr. Speaker. There is an adjustment that was done last year, July, on the fuel levy from 18 shillings to 25 shillings. Now the minister in charge of roads in the national government wants to use the entire 7 shillings per litre of fuel to pay pending bills totaling to 175 billion Kenya shillings without consideration, Mr. Speaker, to the roads in the counties. Mr. Speaker, we are saying that 7 shillings per litre, a percentage of that money must go to counties for the maintenance of county roads. And Mr. Speaker, I want to urge my colleagues that when it comes to matters of devolution, that is why we are said to be champions and defenders of devolution. And the best way of killing devolution is to deny county governments money to carry out devolved functions. On the matter of roads,